How not to die as a lawyer. What am I talking about here? Well, I'm talking about my great hero, Dr. Gregor, who wrote the book How Not to Die. And this is a book that totally changed my life. And I was recommended to me by someone where it had changed his life. Now, why is this relevant to lawyers, right? To read out the subtitle, discover the food scientifically proven to prevent and reverse disease. Basically, as soon as I read this, I switched over to being a whole food, I switched to being a whole food, plant-based vegan. In other words, having whole foods, not processed foods, and dropping the meat and dairy that ultimately this book shows kills you. Nice thing about it is it doesn't push a particular diet. All it does is go through the studies, starting with heart disease, the things that are ultimately going to kill us all, right? Heart disease, dementia. After that, I believe it's diabetes, strokes, and so on. And it goes through them in order. One day, these diseases are going to get us. But as for how long we live and how long we live in a very healthy way, we can have a massive impact on that through the choice of what we eat. As I say, nice thing about it is it doesn't push a particular diet, but after you've read it, you will come, I imagine, to the same conclusion as I did. Now, why is this relevant to lawyers? What am I going on about here? Well, this is super relevant to lawyers. The number of lawyers I know, senior lawyers, who have suffered from cognitive deficits or dementia of some kind, it is really surprising. Of course, lawyers tend to work very hard through their lives, tend to push themselves hard. Many of them in particular have pretty rubbish diets. I've certainly witnessed a lot of that. And what it means is that as a new lawyer, if you really get this sorted out, get your diet sorted out from an early stage, you can add decades potentially to your working life and potentially increase your productivity several fold. Yeah. Now, the other thing is stress. The law is definitely an area that is known for stress, right? I think the divorce rate for lawyers, solicitors, and barristers, I think, is way higher than most other professions, statistically. And there's a lot of stress, and also very poor health habits. Drink is another one. Goodness me, the number of alcoholic lawyers that I've come across over the course of the decades. People really struggle with alcohol. Of course, everyone most alcoholics don't believe that they are alcoholics, they haven't got a problem and so on. But if you look at their drinking pattern, it's pretty blimmin' obvious that they have a problem. And just generally, even if, maybe not the alcoholics and so on, but just generally the sort of poor diet that people tend to have. There's a lot of very overweight people and so on. And all of this, all of these sort of features or patterns you tend to see among lawyers inhibit their ability, their productivity, their ability to give a great service to clients, their happiness generally. And as a new lawyer, if you read this book, I'm confident that it will be a worthwhile use of your time. And you could set yourself up so that you don't end up concluding your career early. And on that note, there's a number of lawyers who I've come across in different contexts who were younger lawyers and prematurely basically brought an end to their career on health grounds of various kinds, and with health problems that were avoidable in some way. So people don't talk about this a lot. Once you actually go into a firm, then usually there's some lip service paid to well-being and that sort of thing. But really, well-being is central to your longevity, not only in life, but the length of your legal career and your ability to do great work. An essential part of well-being is your diet. even more important than than exercise as he goes through in this book. So yeah, I hope you don't mind me putting that in as a recommendation. I would love to have read this book. Had it been written, it wasn't written, but when I was a teenager or in my early 20s, starting out in the law, it would have made a big difference to me. And it's one of those life-changing books, which I'd recommend to anyone I care about. And I also recommend it to your nearest and dearest. It's one of those very special books by Dr. Greger, as I say, Dr. Michael Greger. He's also just written a book on how not to age, which equally catchy title. And I've pre-ordered that book. And yeah, that's another one to check out. Thanks. Bye.